Hey y'all, this is Amanda and welcome back to my Texas Zone 8A garden. And today we're going to be doing a ton of harvesting for a variety of flowers that made it through the harsh summer and are ready to be harvested. And then we're going to turn them into a couple of beautiful bouquets. So one thing a lot of people ask quite frequently is what flowers are going to survive really hot summers. So now is the perfect time to go through and show you what's alive and doing well in the garden so that you can have a general idea of what is able to survive this year, 50 plus days of triple digit temps. I also am going to do a couple of tutorials regarding arranging flowers. This used to be something I did all the time on the channel, but I got some really negative feedback that kind of like crushed my soul for a little bit regarding that, and I don't get a lot of views or comments on these type of videos, but several of y'all who have been watching for a long time have reached out and requested that I do some. So today I put together a video and I really like it. I think it's all beautiful. Hope you all enjoy. Okay, let's put together a couple of arrangements utilizing some of the blooms that we have here. I'm going to keep it pretty simple, so it's some smaller arrangements that I can give away. Sometimes I feel like perhaps I do too many larger arrangements, or other YouTube channels, they do really large arrangements, which is a little bit beyond a lot of people. Some people don't have as many flowers even to work with regarding something like that. So we'll start with some smaller designs that I can hand out to family and friends. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my philosophy, and then I'm just going to go for it. I like to start with a base of greens. And in this case, I'm going to start with lemon basil. And the reason I like to do that is because it creates kind of like a grid work in the vase. So you can see I'm not just putting them straight down, I'm putting them in at a kind of angle and making sure that they're crisscrossing inside the vase. I also like to work on a Lazy Susan. I just find that way easier when working with designs. The basil smells really, really good. You want to make sure that you don't have any leaves in the water because that can turn your water pretty quickly. Okay, so I'm just going to start with a basic grid work just like that. Easy peasy, nothing crazy. And this basil makes the designs look larger than they actually are, which is pretty cool. I think next I'm going to come in with some of this gomphrena. And once again, I'm putting all the stems in at an angle just because it continues to form that crisscross pattern, which holds all your stems up instead of letting them all just flop to the side. One thing I like about gomphrena is it's a really strong stem. So like, see this basil coming out really far? I can come in here and I can put a gomphrena underneath it, and look how much it props that basil up. Okay, next I'm going to work in some of this kind of airy feathered celosia. Okay, so now I have my base flowers in. I've got my greenery in, I've got my gomphrena in, and now I've added in these kind of feathered celosia plumes, which I think is really pretty. And you can stop here. This is absolutely gorgeous. I love designs that are just tiny, petite, sweet flowers, and I think this looks really, really good. But I want to take this a more fall direction. So I think I'm going to add in a little bit of orange tones to it, and I think I'm going to do that by way of some of this celosia off to the side that's got some vibrant kind of orangey peach colors. I have so much celosia blooming right now. It's like the only thing that like did really well over the summer. So what we'll do is, these are more statement flowers. So what we'll do is we'll start putting them down into the design, but because they have such a contrasting color, they'll stand out a lot. Now, some of these are really little, so sometimes I'll come in and I'll put a couple of them together to make it a larger statement. But I think this adds a little bit more fall tones to the design. See, I'm just rotating as I'm working. Okay, that looks real pretty, and once again, you can stop right here, but I think I'm going to tuck in a few zinnias as well. I don't have tons of zinnias right now. I waited a little too long and let them all kind of get a little too old. They all aged out, and then because I wasn't cutting them, they didn't make new blooms.
Do you have anything to do today?
We have a chiropractor at 4:30, and then we're having family over for movie night. Sound good? I think it's a nice size that you can gift. When I gift, I usually ask for the vase back once they're done, just so I'm not giving away all my vases. But yeah, this one looks nice. All right, so let's move on to another one. Okay, let's go with this one. This has a Made in Portugal sticker on it that I actually think is really pretty. It has a scene from Portugal, so I've kind of left the sticker on there, which I know is weird, but I like it. All right, so once again, I'm going to start with my greenery base. This design will probably end up being a little larger because this base is larger. Okay, that's a really good base to start with. Then I think I'm going to tuck in a little, no, I'm going to leave that. I think I'm going to tuck in some asters. This is my first year being able to harvest asters. I planted them last fall and I love them. I am looking to order more. I think they're so fun and whimsical and fresh and kind of a smaller bloom, which I don't have a lot of like dainty small blooms. You can keep these in larger stems. I just happen to tuck a lot of these or cut a lot of these down into smaller ones. Okay, so that's super fun. Now I'm going to change up a little bit in that I'm going to grab these larger scale dahlias. Actually, I'm going to wait on these just a second. These are going to be like my main players in the design. I think I'm going to come through with some of this darker celosia over here and start tucking some of that in. Remember, you can put several together to create a little bit of a larger statement bloom instead of putting them all in individually. I really, really like this light purple tone. I'm going to use a lot of this celosia because I have a lot of celosia right now. So much. Okay, So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work in the dahlias as my main players in the design. Karina already decided that this is the front of my design, so I'm going to really focus my dahlias up front. Okay, so you can see that I've made them my focal points. So I do have a little bit of a weird hole right here, so I still have some more of the celosia. Talk a little bit about that in there. Okay. And then also in that hole, I'm going to work in a little bit of cress. This is green dragon cress. It's a very kind of fun, interesting greenery. I only have a few pieces, but if I work it in behind this dahlia, it kind of makes this kind of like swirl effect. And I'm kind of spreading out the greenery. It makes this kind of cool textural effect right behind the dahlia, which fills in the space, but then also adds interest to where the dahlia is. Just like that. Okay, and then lastly, I think I'm going to use a couple of these taller celosia to add a little bit more height behind this dahlia. And then I think I'm going to get super dramatic. I have this one stem that is leaning really far to one side. So I think I'm going to follow the natural swoop of the dragon cress, or the green dragon cress, and add a really dramatic styling like that. Let me look. Yeah, that's fun. Okay. And then I'm going to fill in with a few more pieces to make all that look really purposeful. All right, y'all, I hope you enjoyed today's video, making these beautiful floral arrangements, seeing what all is still alive and made it through the summer, and then I'm able to enjoy this fall. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know my latest videos are up, and be sure to check me out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. As always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.